community.
What Microsoft brings to the party
And ideas.
Being a BizSpark legal partner allows us to be innovative.
Each one of us has got genius inside of us, and we just need a head up, we just need to find an opportunity.
There's an entire new generation of tech entrepreneurs out there, all looking to move their businesses forward.
Right, so what I'm going to talk to you briefly about today is the BizSpark program that you're going to get in the video. So who here knows what the BizSpark program is? Such people in mind. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I thought we'd start with this old problem. It says, and I'm sure we've used it a couple of times, but it's particularly relevant to what we're doing here. So let me just give you a quick view of what the program is. The BizSpark program really is about 3 or 4 years old, and it comes from the company really wanting to support companies like ourselves. Humble beginnings of software companies. And really what we do is we give people free software. We say, if you're a startup, if you're creating software, we will give you all the software that we have, that we produce to run your business for free. That's not the software offer. The support offer is how do we support you to grow your business? How do we link you into our marketing channels? How do we expose you to what we're doing? How do we make you ultimately a more successful software startup? And that pertains to the visibility. But kind of when we took a look at this as a team and sat in a room, as we talked about a couple of years ago, about 18 months ago, we really thought there's got to be a little bit more than we can do. There's got to be something we can do that's locally relevant, that is not just an implementation of the global program. And so you would have seen we sent out a mail last week sometime to say that we just launched the program in collaboration with the Jobs Fund. But it's basically a merger of the existing global BizSpark program that Microsoft rolls and a cooperation with the South African government through National Treasury and the Jobs Fund. And effectively what we're going to do is the following. We're going to go out to startups and say that you can apply to the BizSpark program. And when you apply to the BizSpark program, you get our software for free, but then we're going to take some money that we get from government, and we've awarded 96 million rand to support this program. And we're going to take the money that we get from government and use it to build a partnership with our set of incubators. For those who don't know, incubators are people who specialize in working with startups to assist them to run and grow their businesses. That means they give them support. They give them support on how to manage their financials, how to grow their businesses, how to do marketing, how to actually run a business and get a business to grow. What they typically don't do very well with is help them with technology. And that's where we come to the party. So what we're going to do is we're going to partner with these incubators. We're going to take the money that we've got from the Jobs Fund. We're going to produce incubation programs around them. We're going to support them technically. We're going to give them software. We're going to loop them into our marketing channels. And we think by doing this and taking them through this process, we will ultimately create more successful software startups in the country, grow the ICT skills in the country, and create people who are creating products and solutions on top of our technologies. So we're very, very excited about this. We think the fact that we've been given over $10 million from the government is a great affirmation that this program will ultimately create jobs in our country. Just a quick little word about the qualifying criteria. So as I said, you must be developing software. So we're looking for software startups. Those are the people we know how to work. We're not going to be incubating people who are going to be sweeping or building roads or be building bridges. That's not our core problem. So you must be building software. You must be privately held. You must be generating less than 5 million rands of revenue. So you must be a startup. You must be less than 5 years old. And if you do that, you get into the program. If you want any info on this, and the reason I wanted to explain this to you today and give you a view of this is that we all know people in this industry. We all know somebody who's starting to dabble. We all know somebody who wants to start creating a software company. Get them to contact us. Let's get them in the program because we think the RPA is incredibly valuable. So, I didn't want to just let me talk about it because I think it's great when the Microsoft people stand up here and talk about it, but I want to invite one of our startups who's been in the program for a couple of years to come tell their story on what the program has done for them. So, I'd like to welcome Tal from Firestring to come tell his story. Welcome, Tal.
Great, thanks, Scott. So hi, my name is Tal Nathan. I'm from a company called Firestring, and we like to think of ourselves as a BizSpark success story. So I thought I'll share a little story on how I got to the point of standing here in front of you. So Firestring is a technology company, and primarily we're obsessed about building software solutions to allow people to find information and people with greater ease, whether that's through communities of practice, through knowledge management initiatives, or through consulting services. We want to match people with the right information at the right time. So just some background, we were founded in 2009. South Africa's first social knowledge management company. Joined the BizSpark Program in 2010, and today we work with large corporates across South Africa helping them with the knowledge management initiatives. So I thought let's show a bit of a tag card of what the South African economy and software startup landscape looks like. If we were to show a tag card, you'd see people talking about global, social, youth, enterprise, knowledge, partnerships. We know this is important to South Africa. We know that small businesses can be the greatest contributors to employment going forward. But do any of us really know what this looks like? So I thought let me tell you an authentic story from the heart of what does an entrepreneur and a startup look like, and what is the journey to get to that point, without facts and figures, but actually the real cutthroat reality of what happens step by step. So I thought it was a very original illustration to depict the story. I'm sure you've never seen this before. But when Firestring was founded in 2009, this was our reality. We had the word social in it, even though that's not really what we do today. And my friends thought that, well, I must be Mount Zuckerberg. And then when you're an entrepreneur and you don't have a boss and you work for yourself, society tends to think that you just sit on the beach all day with a laptop and your cell phone and money rolling in and you're living a good life. My mom thought I was going to be Bill Gates. My customer must have thought that I'm a pizza delivery guy, or maybe that I do dry cleaning, because basically if it said jump, I'd ask hi, we would do anything and everything for our customers, even if it wasn't related to what it is that our business wants to do. Well, what I thought I was doing, well, I thought I was reinventing knowledge management and I was going to revolutionize the world. What I was really doing is praying that business would come through and customers would call back and they would accept our proposals and then our business could grow and flourish. That's the honest truth. But glad to say that Firestring of today is a very different company. End of last year we were acquired by the Brighthouse Group, which is a momentum data company. We joined an accelerator service from business development services through Oric, which Microsoft nominated us. We've got a mature set of products and services that may not sound like a big deal to companies, but to a startup that's a big deal, since you tend to pivot many times before you really identify what your unique value proposition is. We have a global partner channel. We now have massive infrastructure thanks to Dimension Data, working through their campus and through their global channels, and we're experiencing sustainable growth. So what does the journey to the road less traveled look like? How do you get to that point? How do you go from being a delivery guy to someone delivering real software and real value? Well, it actually all starts here, quite simply. You register a company with Cipro. And when you register a company, it's not really showing in the slide, you have to state what the nature of your company is. And we at the time wrote that we're a company operating in the social marketing space. I can assure you we don't do that today, and that's just the reality of a startup. If you think your idea today is what you're going to do in 4 years' time, either you're extremely lucky or extremely naive. So how does it work? Well, the reality of starting a company is you got to quit your comfortable job. In my case, I had to sell my house, I only had a bond and move back home, and find a way to sustain your glamorous lifestyle of 2-minute noodles. It's quite a frightening thing to do, and it's a major leap of faith. Then what you do is you go through your social circles, and we thought let's actually take snapshots out on Facebook of what it was like. It's such a good representation of your life at the time. So there's July 28, 2009, looking for freelance software testers, send me a message if you're interested. Trying to build a team, that's really difficult, because you're asking people to join your company that's a startup with no financial backing, no real career prospects, and say, hey, I have an idea, why don't you risk everything and join me? So we did, and we found some great staff. Some have come, some have done, some have stayed, and you manage and you persevere. This is me at 4 in the morning working at a nightclub. One of our earlier software iterations was an event management software using 2D barcodes. And unfortunately, regardless of you being the owner of the company, you've got to go on your private jet back from the beach and help me back in your life inside. But that's just how it goes. So the main challenge then is how do you manage cash flow with building the dream? You've quit your job, you now have to sustain your own lifestyle, you have to sustain the lifestyle of your staff. You sell your time doing things that aren't strategically relevant to what it is you'd like to do, but yet you have a dream and you want to build this brilliant knowledge management system. So we raised venture capital from these guys. Because I didn't have a home at the time, so I mean, it wasn't really much of a risk, really. And that's how you do it, to be quite frank. So we then approached Microsoft. I have to say that Microsoft received us with open arms. It's a company that really understands how to work with partners and they have processes in place to support that. And we were put on the BizSpark program, and through the BizSpark program we were given access to Microsoft technologies. And then we were put on something called the Global Top Apps program to port our knowledge management solution on top of SQL Server 2012 because it had specific features that would be of benefit to us. And because of that, we can now say that we have software that runs on SQL Server and the Microsoft stack. We've now built pluggable solutions into SharePoint which support discoverability, all in the area of knowledge management. We have back indexing tools to import content. And we also have a set of robust APIs to allow other developers to build solutions on top of the Microsoft stack, such as Exchange. Really, our vision is to revolutionize knowledge management at the point of need. That's the software applications that people are using day to day. We even had joint marketing promotions. So this was a magazine article coming out of Brainstorm talking about SQL Server 2012 and the Top Apps program. Really very powerful and very useful for a small startup. This slide lets to do that. But the reality of being a startup is that, as Alison, the co-founder of Firestring, you don't really have movers when you move opposite of the time. You actually have to carry everything and do things yourself. Shock and horror tables don't just appear and computers aren't set up on their own. Also, if you don't buy curtains, you don't have curtains, and that's me providing really one of our developers. Then there's the worst thing that can happen to you, something worse than cash flow, and that's growth. Because if you don't measure your growth effectively, you're going to fall flat on your face. That's when this kicks in. Microsoft nominated us for the ORIC program, where we put on a two-year business accelerator services. And as Cliff described, they help you through your internal processes, marketing, sales, who would have known those are two different things, finance, HR. And really giving you someone like a grounded sounding board they're not technical, and that's actually quite useful to give you support in how to grow a business, because every business, whether you're manufacturing or software, faces the same types of issue. We now have the processes in place to support that growth, and they've also assisted us in acquisition into Brighthouse. So that goes to the next slide. Where we are today, we're part of the Brighthouse group of companies. One of the sister companies of ours is 315, which is a Microsoft SI company. And through that, we now have great resources to really build the solutions that we want to build and have the expertise to do that. So this is our reality now. We actually work 100 meters from you, so we have no excuse not to visit you more often. And we're really very thankful for all the support we've received from Microsoft throughout the years. We legitimately are a successful business partner because of this. And we're looking forward to the future. We're looking forward to working more closely with Microsoft and finding opportunities together to support our joint customers. Thanks.
Okay, so I hope that made it real. This is why the stuff is important, right? I mean, these guys are going to be the future of our solutions that we sell and ultimately going to make our company more successful. So, I think we want to talk a little